All right, we have a 42-year-old man with a history of alcohol abuse who presents with severe abdominal pain and vomiting following an alcohol binge. Lab values are as follows: white blood cell count of 14,000, hemoglobin of 10, platelets of 98, lipase 9,000, AST 200, ALT 107, total bilirubin 1.6, sodium 134, potassium 5.1, creatinine 3.1, and glucose 313. Which of the following lab values is associated with increased mortality? And the answer choices are A, AST of 200, B, creatinine of 3.1, C, glucose of 313, or D, lipase of 9,000. Okay, so this is one of my favorite questions for board exams. It invariably comes up, and it's rather straightforward. You just need to know, right? What do you need to know? Ranson's criteria. That's right. So this patient here, classic for acute pancreatitis. So we have a 42-year-old. He has a history of alcohol abuse. He comes in with severe abdominal pain and vomiting. Now, we diagnose acute pancreatitis with a lab value of lipase being elevated here, significantly elevated of 9,000. So is that the answer choice? Answer choice D, lipase of 9,000. Is that the lab value that's associated with increased mortality? Well, in order to answer this question correctly, we need to know Ranson's criteria. And so when you're doing this question, when you see this question, this is the spoil right here, this lipase value, because everyone knows it's associated with pancreatitis. However, it is not part of Ranson's criteria. So right away, I'm going to cross that off because lipase is not associated, the value is not associated with increased mortality. So we're left with three options. The next most likely confused answer choice would be AST, right? Because we're thinking someone's drinking alcohol, their AST is going to be elevated, which it certainly gets elevated in pancreatitis. And it is part of Ranson's criteria, but Ranson's criteria for AST is greater than 250. So an AST of 200 does not meet that criteria. And then we're left with creatinine and glucose. So creatinine is not part of Ranson's criteria, right? So let's just review Ranson's criteria very quickly. So at admission, you have age over 55, white blood cell count over 16,000, glucose over 200, LDH over 350, and AST over 250. And at 48 hours, so after admission, hematocrit fall greater than 10%, BUN rise greater than 5, calcium less than 8, PO2 less than 60, base deficit greater than 4, fluid sequestration greater than 6 liters. Okay. And if you have any Ranson's criteria, your mortality is automatically 1%. Think about that. If you have one of those, you're 1% chance of dying. And then it goes up. So 3 to 4 is 15%. If you have more than 7, it's 100%, which 100% seems nothing's really 100%. So, all right. Of creatinine and glucose, creatinine is not part of Ranson's criteria, so we're going to cross that off. That leaves us with glucose of 313. Indeed, that is part of Ranson's criteria, a glucose over 200. And so this patient already has a single risk factor here, meets one criteria, and therefore has a 1% of mortality due to his acute pancreatitis. Let's choose answer choice C. And sure enough, that is correct. Hey everyone, before you go, if you're interested in your own QBank, whether you are an MD or DO, a PA, or an MP, simply go to RoshReview.com and sign up for a free trial. See if Rosh Review's content is right for you. Keep learning, keep working hard, and always have a sense of mission about your work. Now is your time. This is Dr. Adam Rosh, signing off.